We're back with our final part 7 of our exclusive interview with Tina Malone here at celebrityradio.co.uk. Her brand new book is out now. It's called Back in Control. You can read about her life, her career, and of course her politics. She has been accused in the past of being militant. She certainly has strong opinions, as you'll hear in this final part of our interview.
Yeah, I love my politics, but I guess someone called me. I was on Sky TV the other week talking about IVF, and I was talking about, the lottery depending on the demographic of where you live, whether you can get IVF on the NHS at 36, 39 or 42 across this country, which is absolutely disgraceful. It's like going from one city to another and saying, well, if you murder somebody in Manchester, you get 3 years, in Liverpool 8 years, in Glasgow 20 years. I mean, where's the kind of general consensus or legislation that has the same rules up and down the country? It doesn't work. And what I feel about that is that, women are much more educated, making better choices, making later choices, much more successful in the corporate ladder, producing, directing, right through to banking, to whatever job now, nurses, doctors, and so they're choosing later in life to have their children. So why are they penalised when you paid into a system all those years? It's an absolute disgrace.
I was told years ago that nowhere is it written in the great libraries of Paris, Milan or London that life is fair, and it seems in 2014 it's getting worse. I mean, life is just not fair.
Well, you know what? We're still from the throwbacks of 30 years of Thatcher. People are still drugged up and fighting in the ghettos, which is what she wanted, because while we fight amongst ourselves, we're too apathetic to ever have any sort of a revolution, albeit a peaceful one. You know what? In this country, if you rob the state because maybe you're slow or illiterate and you rob the state of a tenner a week because you're moonlighting doing a bit of window cleaning, you'll be thrown in court, thrown in jail. You rob the country of 750 million through your incompetence with shares and banking and God knows what else. You'll get a £3 million payoff and sent to a big house in the country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We don't look after our poor. We don't look after our uneducated. We don't look after teens. Why are we the only country in Europe that has the biggest rate of teenage pregnancy? It's cool to be thick. Oh my God, if I was Home Secretary, I tell you what, I'd sort this country out.
What do you recommend? What is going to sort this out? I mean, is it going to be some...
The thing I would do if I were Home Secretary would give milk back to every child in this country that Thatcher took off. I would also legalise every drug, which I know is contentious of me, but every single drug in the world I would immediately legalise them.
Including crack cocaine?
Every single drug, everything, crystal meth, crack cocaine, I would legalise everything, because then you take away the titillation and the naughtiness that makes teenagers, leads them to a life of sheer hell on that garbage, because it's no longer attractive. And then I would plough money into the NHS, into the cognitive therapy and mental health institutions to get people help who need it with mental health problems, and get rid of the stigma, because people have such terrible lives that they've come from, and we carry on with that circle of hate and pain and poverty.
You talk party politically about Thatcher and Cameron and stuff like that. I do wonder, though, at the same time we're talking about Blair and what he did to the bank, so I can't vote for Labour and I can't vote for Conservative. Who do we vote for?
What? I also believe Blair took us into a war that we didn't need or warranted, so I have my feelings there as well.
Who do I vote for, then?
Well, for me, I'm a Labour through and through, because I can't get over that Thatcher destroyed the trade unions, destroyed the steelworks, the miners, the shipping.
But they were responsible for the war and deregulating the banks, weren't they?
Yeah, well, you know what? I just kind of think what she did in the 80s to this country, we're still paying back for. You know what? It's better the devil you know. I know all that stuff, and that's how I kind of think. Going back to Labour, I'm Labour through and through. I'm working class. Well, most of us, because we work for a living, but I wouldn't vote Tory. You'd have to stick pins in my eyes and saw me head off to vote Conservative. That's the God honest truth.
About 10 minutes ago, I said that was my last question, and we've done another 10 minutes. I better not do this again. You've got a baby to feed and look after. Tina Malone, I have loved talking to you. It's been my honour and pleasure. Please come on again, and let's meet and have a coffee.
Thank you, Alex.
You're a
Thank
star.
you for having me, and go out and buy my book.
Well, listen, if you thought this was interesting, the book is even better. You get to read it from day one through until today. It is fascinating. What a life, what a lady. Tina Malone's new book is out now. Thank you so much for coming on the programme.
Thanks very much for having me, Alex. Lovely talking to you, love.